Good morning and welcome to another exciting moment on the Good Morning Cross River. My name is Catherine Asupo. Today we have an exciting personnel here with us today. When it comes to retirement, there's so much, glued to it. Today we want to talk to one of our very own who had actively worked and tirelessly, which I know that he's not tired, who is retiring almost very soon. Join me in welcoming Obol, Dr. Innocent Eteng. Good morning, sir.
Thank you so much and good morning.
All right, sir. Having looked at who you are, can you share with us what described your journey so far in civil service?
Thank you. Well, clearly, I entered the Crossbar 6 civil service precisely on the 18th of September in the year of our Lord, 1990. And on the 18th of September 2025, I must have attained 35 years in service. What this means is that I should be retiring on that date. Because the rules in the public service rules is very explicit. Whichever was confessed, either 35 years of service or 60 years of age. And for us, this administration, upon assumption of duty, His Excellency Senator Chris Bassey, headed the two, the first government, did abolish extension of service. What this means is that extension of service has been outlawed. So that if you attain 60 years of age or 35 years of service, you are expected to retire. Except those in the colleges of health technology and other allied colleges of nursing and the rest that have been granted 65 years of service. That means you must attain, if you attain 65 years of age, you are expected to retire, not 60 years. And then teachers, have the retirement years have been elongated also to 65 years and 35 years of service. So the journey so far has been not very challenging as such, but has been very impactful and enriching, because when I entered the service first as a classroom teacher, and then I transferred my services in 1993 to the mainstream of the service as an admin officer. So I then rose through the ranks up to the level of Director of Administration. From Director of Administration, I was elevated to the rank of Permanent Secretary in 2016. I served after some years, after having served the electoral state, I was also appointed Permanent Secretary. I was also elevated to the rank of Head of Service Authority as the most senior Permanent Secretary there, because I was later on moved to the position of Provost of the College of Permanent Secretaries. Because when you are given that position, it means you are the senior Permanent Secretary. And after which I was elevated to the rank of, to the position of Head of Service by our dear Governor, Senator Chris Bassey, precisely on the 18th of September 2023. So I've served, I'll be attaining 35 years by 18th of September 2025. And I'll also be attaining complete 2 years in office as Head of Service. So the journey so far, like I said, I'll be very impactful. Because when I came on board, I met a plethora of problems that has to do with discipline in the service, that has to do with lack of staff, personnel to man the service. We also have other issues of stagnation in promotion and all that. And I took it upon myself to ensure that the service is legit by introducing the concept of reinvigoration, revitalization, and rejuvenation of the service, to the extent that I can give my chest that I'll be living a service that is very virile, very productive. I'll be living a service that anybody can, in fact, can be classed as a service that will rank among the committee of highbrow stakes in the services in Nigeria. So Provost now is in the top, you can rank it, because we have a productive service, we have a service that is working in accordance with the public service rules. And we have a service that is virile. We have a service that can deliver efficient service delivery. So that's what I'll be leaving behind and all that. And I think that a lot of things have been introduced during my time as a head of service. For instance, I introduced a monthly sanitation, which for quite some time I've not been. But now you see, every last Friday of the month, for instance, every last Friday, environmental sanitation in the offices of government, staff, and the committee was put in place. A very indefatigable committee that is working very assiduously to ensure that that is done. And we also ensured that we sought His Excellency the Governor's approval for promotions to go on. That's how promotions are going on now. We sought His Excellency's approval to, having seen that at that point so many persons are retired, we needed permanency. I got His Excellency's approval, and about 27 permanent secretaries were appointed precisely in 2024. I also got His Excellency the Governor's approval for recruitment of staff in the service. Approval was granted for 2,000 personnel to be recruited and brought into the state service, including the unified local government service. That I have done, and I think the exercise is currently going on. It's almost completed. We also got approval for the minimum wage, the 70,000 minimum wage implementation, which is consequential adjustment. I got approval for increment salary, that is the step, incremental step, which for quite some time has not been in operation. For now, it's going to happen that every year, a step will be added, increment in step to civil servants. We also got approval for maternity, elongation of maternity leave for female public servants, now to 6 months. It used to be 4 months, now to 6 months. We also sought and got approval for the review of the Cross State Public Service Rules. A committee has been consulted, or was consulted by His Excellency and inaugurated. Incidentally, I chaired that committee. That exercise was not interminable. It has been concluded. The rules have been reviewed to the extent that so many issues arising from His Excellency's approval, for example, the maternity leave, have been incorporated. And then other very important changes that will ensure that the service is kept afloat very efficiently. The report is ready and is already submitted to the Commissioner General for Justice for final vetting, so that it will be submitted to His Excellency the Governor for approval, so that it will become operational. Civil servants must be, rewarded when they are worked hard. And then we recommended some persons to be given an award, and they were so given an approval by office. So I also sent it to His Excellency for approval, so that some of those staff can also be given a promotion for outstanding performance. Amongst other achievements, I cannot now remember, but I can tell you that during my time, so many achievements have been recorded, and I've introduced very radical measures to ensure that the service is made very productive, very virile, very efficient, to meet with contemporary demands. Because my intention, and it's still my dream, is to leave a world-class service that can stand amongst the committee of eyebrow states in Nigeria. I'm sure you are also aware that His Excellency graciously approved during my time 10 billion naira for payment of gratuities. That for quite some time has not been done. So, as head of service, I've recorded so many achievements. The intention being that to build an efficient service. So that is what I'm going to leave behind, and I'm sure the incoming head of service will certainly continue from what I have done.
Now, having listened to you, you had the principle that guided you throughout the reads. Would you want to tell us what are the outcomes of the reads?
What that means is that deliberately, we were conscious about the fact that the service need to be very efficient. So His Excellency gave approval for training and retraining of staff. Incidentally, that function had been excised from my office, so it's now domiciled now in the Ministry of Establishment, Training and Planning. So you can see training going on almost every month. You see training of staff. The intention is also to build capacity, so that the servants, the citizens will be re-energized revitalized. Because when you build capacity, they will make to be more efficient and all that. And in addition, like I've said, the rules that we have reviewed, when the rules are operational, when the secretary gives a program, the rules are meant to strengthen the service and all that. So for me, the consequences have been very rewarding, very impactful, because civil servants now are made to know that you need to be very punctual to duty, you need to be very efficient, you need to deliver on your mandate. The civil service is the engine room of government. So the 3R rules is a revitalization of bringing, and I can see the effects. Now people now go to work early, people now know that you have to dress well to go to work, people now know that if you absent yourself from work, there will be consequences. Before now there's so much lodging and malingering and all that. All that is as a result of what we have introduced.
All right. Retirement, they say, is often called a new beginning. How do you feel about this new transition?
Good. Well, I think that if you have served creditably and meritoriously for upward of 35 years, or you have attained 60 years of age, you should rest. Rest is sweet after hard work. Rest is sweet after hard work. And I think that when you have served meritoriously, you should retire. When you retire, you go into other productive ventures. You know the end of us. When you retire, I'm not feeling very elated because I have served the Cross State government and people of Cross State very meritoriously. So I should now retire and become an elder statesman and enter the war with a full verve. For me, I'm going to active business and active politics. So I'm in a hurry to retire. Even if I know I have few days, I'm in a hurry to retire. I'm going to more productive ventures. I'm going to business, I'm going to politics. Because all those politicians who are having offices, because they are political heads all over the place, they don't have two heads, they are not better than you. So when you have served me, let me retire and go and compete favorably. And I'm sure, in no distant time, my name will be heard, perhaps in the federal or even in the state of somewhere. And it will be a good thing, having served well. So I'm in a hurry to retire, having served for 35 years, and I want to leave. I do not think that people should even think extension, or extension is out of the way. To ensure that I maximize the good intention of the service, and ensure that I deliver very efficiently and serve people very well. Because there's something I keep telling people. When you are given a position or when you enter the service, you have to be very cautious of the people you meet. Because my late father used to tell me, be kind to the people you meet because you may meet them on your way up or on your way down. So when I enter the service, or when you enter the service as a civil servant or as a young person, and you are given your responsibility, do your work very judiciously and very conscientiously, and treat the people you meet in a very kind, in a very cautious manner, because you may meet them for that. Yes.
So what will be your parting word to the people coming behind you?
Well, my parting words to the people coming behind me is to ensure that they discharge their duties. Anyone who is given that privileged position or appointment as the incoming head of service should ensure that he or she discharges her duties very efficiently. And then I will also appeal to all civil servants to ensure that they put in their best in the interest of the government and the interest of the society, and also extend this goodwill and support to the incoming head of service the way you have cooperated and given me that encouragement and support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so this is where we wrap up today's interview with the head of service, who will soon retire, in person of Obol, Dr. Innocent Eteng. I take a parting word from him. He says, be good to everyone you see, because you might meet them on your way up or on your way down. My name is Catherine Asupo. Stay tuned for the rest of our program.